First, when I started, I had struggled with eating disorders for a long period of time, and I drank way too much. I was definitely like that crazy girl who loved to party and was very, very unhealthy. I had a little girl when I was 22 years old, and so I was a single mom, and I kind of just like got lost in like trying to still go out with my friends and still have a child. And it just continued for years and years. Um, when I decided I wanted to start coaching, it was really because I found my coach on Instagram, and she seemed like she was extremely happy and she was taking care of herself, where I was like sitting on Instagram. I just started an account. I hated Facebook, so my Facebook was deactivated. I started Instagram just to start finding girls that were like literally taking care of themselves, because I needed to start being better. My daughter would tell people that I didn't eat, and I hated when she said that to people. Like, I was so embarrassed, but at the same time, that's what I was teaching her. So I decided I needed to be better for her, because as you all know, as a girl, you're going to grow up, and confidence and self-doubt and all those insecurities are going to surround you, and you're going to be looking at magazines and watching TV shows and thinking that you need to be like perfect. So the last thing that I wanted to teach her was that not eating was the way to go to fit in and to be skinny. So I started this Instagram. Found my coach really fast, and she actually was brand new. It was Ashley Smith. She had just basically started coaching. She was like 6 months in. So it wasn't like she was this big time coach or anything. She was just a regular person sharing about her fitness. And I was like, okay, what she's doing seems like something I could do. I had ran marathons, I ran half marathons, but I was just not healthy, and I had like a horrible relationship with food. So I wanted to start following meal plans and then doing these programs, and I thought it would be like perfect to do it together. When I joined, I started the group and was like, first month in, first when I went to join, I signed up as a challenger. And then first month in, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm loving this. So I'm going to switch over and try to make it, an actual business. Like, if she can do it, I can do it. But when I went to switch over, it kept telling me my credit card number was wrong, and it wasn't. So to me, I was like, that's my sign I'm not supposed to be a coach. Like, for sure, I'm not supposed to be doing this. And it happened 3 times, like over a few weeks period. And I kept like putting it off. So I was that annoying coach who like, yeah, I'm signing up today. And then I'd be like, oh yeah, not going to anymore. And then 2 weeks later, she'd talk to me again, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And then it would happen again. So like, I just kept thinking I'm not supposed to do this. Eventually it did switch over. It took like a month and a half, and I ended up switching. And I had the mentality from day one that I was going to go into this and be successful with it. I had bartended and served for 10 years. I had gone to college. I stopped going when I had my daughter, and then had restarted it. But to get my bachelor's, like, it took me like 10 years. I did get it, but it took me like 10 years. So I felt like I was never proud of anything that I was doing. Like, I just never felt like, oh, I'm really good at this job, or I'm really succeeding in life. I just wanted a freaking salaried position so that I didn't have to bartend anymore, and wanted to be home at night to put my daughter to bed. So like, my dream job when I found coaching was not even like tons of freedom. My dream job was a salaried position, 8 to 5, where I had weekends off, and I could drive my daughter to school in the morning and be home with her at night. And I didn't know anything like this even existed. I started coaching and like loved that there was so much possibility of all the freedom that came with it. And I actually had signed up to do my personal trainer's license at the same time as coaching, and paid for it, and then never actually did anything with it because I didn't take like the test on it. Because I loved that coaching, you didn't have to be in person, and you could do it online. You could do it around your own schedule. And I was a single mom, so I needed something that was going to work that way. I also was moving to South Carolina to be with my husband now. And I needed to be home with her. I don't trust anyone. And so I don't let anyone but family babysit my kids. And when I moved to South Carolina, I wasn't going to have any sitters. So I had 7 months from the time I actually signed up to coach till I was leaving to move to South Carolina, and I wasn't going to have a job when I moved. So I was like 100%, this has to work because I have no backup plan. And I think a lot of times in the business, it's easy to start and you have a backup plan because majority of you probably have a full-time job or you have an income and you're doing this and like, oh yeah, I'm going to build it. But when you sit and you like don't really treat it like a business, it's so much harder to get it moving. Like from day one, from when I actually decided and I had that 7 months, because I didn't have a backup plan, like I wasn't going to have a job when I moved. And my husband had an apartment, so he was going to have his apartment for 9 months. I would have my apartment. So it's not like I was moving in with him and wasn't going to have bills. Like I had to pay my car and my car insurance and our health insurance and my rent. And I had no way to not be successful at it. So I had 2 jobs. I had my daughter and I was teaching dance. And every second that I had, I was working this business. Like I legit slept 2 to 3 hours my first 7 months because I was so serious about it. And people have asked me like, do you regret doing that, what you did for the first 7 months? And honestly, I don't, because in 7 months, I did leave both my jobs and I moved to South Carolina. And since then, I've been able to grow the business a ton more, obviously. But I have always had that mentality of, I'm going to believe in this. The hardest part, I think, about this business is believing in yourself and knowing that you can do it and knowing that, like, if you were to go, and I tell my coaches this all the time, if you were to go open a clothing shop and you invested all your money, you know, you put like $40,000 or $50,000 into this clothing shop, you would be putting a ton of money in it, which you're not just going to like let that like throw away $40,000 or $50,000. When you order your challenge pack, you're only spending like $160, or maybe you just got signed up and you spent like $215, or whatever the amount is that you spent. It's not a huge amount that makes you feel like a CEO or a business owner. It's products that you need to get yourself healthy. So you don't have that like mindset of being a business owner, but you have to tell yourself and treat it like you own a really solid clothing shop with all this money invested in it. One of the things that if you owned a clothing shop, you would be marketing it. So you would be telling all of your friends and all of your family, and you would be sharing it on your social media that I just opened this store and I'm so excited and come see us. You would continuously share it with everyone you knew because that's what you have to do to grow your business. Same with the coaching. When you sign up to coach, we all have that fear in us that is like afraid to share what we're doing and it's scared to invite people into this because we don't know if we're going to be a legit coach. Like we don't know if we'll for sure succeed in it. And so you have that like doubt inside of you, like what if I start inviting people and no one wants to join me, or what if they think I'm stupid? And all of those things creep up in your head. But you have to like fight those fears and know that nothing that anyone can say can stop you from reaching your goals. If you have goals and you want it to change your life, you have to push through every single day and get out of bed and be excited to start this journey and share your journey every day. If you went to my page, I don't have beautiful graphics. I don't have my hair and makeup done all the time. Like most of the time my hair is in a ponytail or like a ponytail from the night before. So it's like a side messed up ponytail. And I don't have makeup on. And I do my Insta stories like that. And I put up a lot of posts where I don't have makeup on. And I don't have like, you know, all these beautiful outfits. It's funny because I used to always follow coaches. And I would think like, how do they have all these like pretty clothes? Like they can take so many pictures because they own so many outfits. And I don't own a lot of outfits. Like I actually hate shopping because I'm only 5 feet tall and nothing fits me. Like I either need to shop in the kids section because the adult section doesn't fit. And then it's like weird. So I don't have like tons of different outfits to put up, and I don't do tons of different things that like I have to share about. But you just have to find the things that you truly love that are going to make you you, and continue to share that every single day. I had people in this business that, you know, said, oh, she posts too much and she's annoying. Because when I started, we did post more on social media. It was more like 3-4 times a day. And now it's only down to 1. So it seems so easy because you don't have to do that. But I still had people that were like, you're so annoying and I'm not going to follow you. Like, I literally had one of my friends reach out to me who was like, I just can't follow you anymore. She struggled with eating disorders and she didn't like that I was like being open about my eating disorder. So she unfollowed me. And it's funny, later on, she actually started rodent in fields and then like reached out to me to sell me her product. And I was like, oh, funny, you're doing something similar. But you have to know that a lot of times the people that are going to judge you is because you're being successful and they're probably not happy with where they're at. If you're losing a ton of weight and you're feeling really good and they're sitting at home and they're not taking care of themselves, well, it's easy to judge that person and be like, gosh, she's so annoying. Because before I was a coach and before I was taking care of myself, I remember myself numerous times being like, why is that person sharing their food? Like, I don't care about what people are eating. Or why is that person sharing about their workout? Like, they can just go get in a workout. Because I wasn't happy with where I was at. I was struggling so much with the things that they were posting about. So I always try to remind myself that if that's how I was feeling then, and if I didn't like social media because I felt bad about who I was, then that's why other people are feeling that way too, is they're not happy about things in their life. And it's hard to be excited for people when you feel crappy. Even in this business, if you are pushing for diamond and someone gets to diamond first and they're like rocking it and going to 1-star and going to 2-star, and you might be struggling to get to diamond, it's easier to start looking at that coach being like, gosh, they're so annoying, and get irritated, when really you have to just be excited and know that like you get to grow from each other and learn from each other. Like, the best part about this business is there's no secrets. Everyone is able to help each other. And when you're struggling, ask and say like, hey, you guys, I put up a post today and no one liked it. Could you guys all go share some love on it? And have someone go do that. If you put up a transformation and you're scared about the transformation, go have people comment on your transformation, because it just takes the pressure off of you and it makes you know that like, okay, people commented on it. And even though you know that you might have asked them to comment on it, it makes you feel better. And it doesn't make you feel like a post was up that, is just completely ignored. You are going to have self-doubt throughout this. And I will say 4 years in, I've had an elite team twice. And I sat at 5-star for either a year or 2 years. I think it was almost 2 years that I sat at 5-star. And I felt like, like that self-doubt was creeping in, like, I'm sitting at the same rank forever. Am I even good at this? And that's when you have to remind yourself, like, that's just the negativity creeping in your head. Everyone can do this business no matter who you are. If you look at people on the National Wake Up Call, there are people that are getting on it. And yes, they always look done up on the National Wake Up Call, but there's people that struggle with eating disorders, that struggle with drug addiction and drinking. And there's people that lost family members. Like, there's people that come from so many different backgrounds who are successful. I mean, look at Lindsay Madway, who came from like a crazy childhood and being broke her whole life and going bankrupt to where she's at now. It's easy to look at a coach and feel like I could never be like that because I don't look like her. I don't live in a huge house, but that's not how they started. And you always have to look at like the story from when they started. The best advice that I have for anyone in this business is, one, treat it like I said, like you invested $40,000 or $50,000 in it. Share about it every single day, because that's what you would do if you invested that much money in it. And invite people to get healthy. I, at my retreat, we'll be talking about this, but inviting has been something that, like, to me is not scary. I love inviting. And the reason that I love inviting is because I know this thing that I started 4 years ago brought me home to be with my kids. And it has done so much for my relationship with my husband and the friendships that I have and the community that I have. And I am teaching my daughter things that I never imagined even being able to do. Like, I get to have her on the calls when we win Elite. And to me, that was something that like was huge because I got to see my daughter be proud of me. And for so long in the first few years of her life, like I wasn't doing anything that was something to be proud of. I, was just bartending forever. And I was actually still living with my parents until I was 28 years old, and bless them because they helped me and were helping me raise her. But like you don't feel good about that if you're 28 years old and you're still living with your parents and you're like, sweet, I am a mom and don't know what I'm doing with my life. And that's basically what I felt. But what you want to make sure that you're doing is don't be the girl that starts showing up and then takes a step back and then shows up and then takes a step back. When you continue to do that, people see you as being flaky and they have to build that trust in you. I mean, I'm sure everyone on this call probably knows someone that either started Beachbody or Roden and Fields or lipstick company or whatever, and sharing about it, and then they fall off. And all of a sudden, like, they just don't share about it anymore and they stop doing it. So people can be skeptical and they want to see like, okay, I'm watching this girl, but like, is she really going to stick around, or is she going to be another person that is all about it and is losing weight, but then she falls off the face of the earth because life got hard or whatever happens. And you have to show them like, I'm not falling off. I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to be here every single day. I've had people follow me for literally almost 4 years. And I just had a girl reach out to me that has been following me for 4 years. And had I stopped, she wouldn't have started her journey now. And you have to remember that like it takes time for people to want to join. I was asked actually to start coaching 4 years prior to when I said yes to Ashley. I was asked by a girl that I knew personally. She asked me, and I was not at a point in my life that I cared to get healthy. I was, like, I'm skinny and I'm drinking and having fun and I don't care about life. So I didn't say yes to her. But 4 years later, when I was at a really bad point in my life, my anxiety was horrible. I was going to the doctor a lot, trying to figure out why my anxiety was getting so bad. And I didn't want to go on medication. And my daughter started telling people, that I didn't eat. That all was enough to make me realize, like, I need what this girl's doing. So the same with anyone that's following you, they're going to watch you. And when they're ready and when they're, feeling probably their worst and feeling like, I even had a girl message me like 2 weeks ago that said, hey, I saw your post and like, I have been watching you and I'm drinking way too much. And like, I'm literally who you used to be. And that's the thing that's like awesome is you get to help them, but it has to sometimes be when they're ready. Like we can invite them and invite them and invite them, but you have to know that like people are going to join when they hit that point in their life that they're like, hey, I need this and I can benefit from this. And you have to work on yourself every single day. Don't get caught up in trainings that you're doing like all these trainings all the time, but you're not showing up for yourself. You have to show up for yourself and truly live your best life. Turn podcasts on in the car and when you're in the shower. Open the book and read. Switch your morning routine. And I had a baby 8 months ago. So like I was getting up really early. And now my morning routines, like because he doesn't sleep through the night, are still off. So sometimes I'm not doing my morning routine until later in the day, but I still make sure I read my scripture and then I do personal development and I read my vision every day and I write I am statements every single day. And if you're not reading a vision statement, I highly recommend doing that, especially because it's a brand new year. But I read a vision statement and basically what's on there is like the life that I want to create for our family. So we have our vision board, but then my vision statement is just like literally written out. And I just read over it because every single morning when you read it, you really start to envision yourself there. And eventually one day, like I want to be a 15-star diamond coach. Like I want to be standing on that stage, and it sounds so stupid, but in my vision statement, I write about how I'm going to be a 15-star coach and I'm going to be standing on that stage and my family will be in the audience and I'm going to be wearing a beautiful dress. Like, I literally go into detail because I want it to feel like I'm already there. because that's what's going to push me on days where I want to give up or where I have the self-doubt or when I question if I can do things. I have to have like those big goals of what we want to do with our life and how we want to live. I was reminded this year, we are very big in the church that we went to, and we had some like horrible stuff happen at the church in the daycare area. And it was another reminder of like, this job brought me home so that I'm home with my baby and I'm home with my daughter. And it wouldn't be possible if someone didn't invite me to it. So again, it's going back to like, if you don't invite someone, you're holding back on something that can completely change their life. And like, why? There's not a good reason. It's just you're scared to get no. Like, who cares if someone says no? I get so many no's, and I have hit Success Club since I joined 4 years ago. Since the beginning, I've always hit Success Club. My first 7 months, I had high numbers like 20 to 30. Since then, you guys, I hit between like 6 and 14. And I have built a solid business, and I don't have like 500 or 200. So don't think that like you have to have these huge Success Club numbers, but you do need to hit Success Club every single month. Because by hitting Success Club, your income grows, your team grows, the people you're helping grow, the comments that you're getting back about people losing weight and being able to put their wedding rings on their fingers again and feeling confident and fighting anxiety and depression. All of those things are going to come from getting numbers on the board. And it all stems back to like, you have to hit Success Club. Sorry, I was not checking this chat. How many people are you inviting each month to hit those numbers, if you know what I'm asking? Honestly, I'd invite 50 people typically a week right now. But those like 25 to 50 are just like colder invites, are usually watching my stories. But something that I do, and I can show you guys kind of how I do it. So what I do is Sundays and Mondays, I find 30 people and I group them and do it and put it in like a bookmark on Instagram. And those 20 to 30 people are the people that are like my market. Like I 100% am like, I want you on my team. They would be an awesome coach. It's typically not challengers. It's just people who I think would be an awesome coach. And I put them in a thing. So on Sundays and Mondays, that's my task. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I go into that day and I bookmark the Monday of each week. So every Monday I redo this and it has that date for that Monday. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, all I do is I go in on each of those 30 and I go like and comment on their stuff. So I do that on Tuesday, then I go back on Wednesday, and then on Thursday is when I'll start going into their Insta stories. Basically what I want to do is I want them to start seeing me and getting to like know me. So I'm going to put up a post and they're hopefully going to put up a post, and I'm going to comment on them and get to know them a little better, and they'll see what I'm doing. So by the time I get to Thursday, that's when I start watching their stories, and then I'll start talking to them through stories. And like stories makes life so easy to build a relationship with someone, because you can like comment on anything that they're doing, and you know, like, oh, I went for pizza last night, or you drink the same beer that I drink, or your kids go to the same school as mine, or you're a soccer mom, or whatever. They're like, stories makes life so easy. So then I start talking to them in stories. Those people I don't invite typically for like 2 to 3 weeks, because I am only building like a relationship with them, and I know that like 100% I want them on my team, and I really want them to like want to be on my team when I ask them. And by building that relationship over and over, we like start to really get to know each other. And so then usually I'll invite them like 2 to 3 weeks later. Does that make sense? And then 2 days a week, I'll usually sit down and I'll try to send like 25 invites on both of those days. To be completely honest with my baby, I'll like right now I'm at Success Club 10 and 2 in my husband's. And my invites, like today, how many did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 13, 14, 15, 16. So today I sent 16 invites, which usually like before the baby, I would have tried to do 25 on these 2 days. But, and then 15 minutes in the morning, part of my morning routine, once I do like my scripture and my personal development, I read my vision statement and I write I am statements. And that's another thing I highly recommend doing. I know it sounds lame. I know you've probably heard it. Mine are nothing fancy. I write a prayer at the top. It's a quick prayer to the Lord. I write that, and then underneath it, I write like simple things, you guys, but things that I need to have in my head every single day. So like I write, I am a good leader. And it sounds stupid, but I never imagined being a leader and having a team. And I never imagined that like people would look up to me. So I have to read that every day and remind myself that like I am leading a team and I am good at what I'm doing. Because if I don't tell myself that, like I start to doubt myself and feel like, okay, maybe I'm not saying the right thing, or maybe they don't like something that I shared in the team page, and you really get in your own head. So my first thing is always like, I'm a good leader. And then it goes into different things. One of the things that's on there is like, I can like lose my temper quickly. And so I write on there, like, I am patient with my husband and my kids. And I write that every single day so that it reminds me like I'm patient. My word this year for the year was being intentional. So I write, I am intentional about what I'm doing each day. Just by writing those every single morning, and I have a little notebook that I do it in, and it takes you a couple of minutes to write it, but those solid things just make a difference. And it lets you know that like you are those things. The things that you're telling yourself you're not, whether if it's something with your body, you guys, that you think you can't be successful because you didn't lose all your weight, or you can't be successful because you don't have long hair, whatever the things are that you're telling yourself, switch it and write it as I am this person. Something I hear a lot from my coaches, they'll be like, I'm an introvert. And anyone that knows me, if you tell me you're an introvert or an extrovert, I don't care about those words. Those are words that like society puts on us and taught us to label ourselves. And we put these labels on ourselves, and then we think that we can't like go out and be successful because of it. But the thing is, you can be successful. And if you are an introvert and you're sitting on the call, like, and you use that as an excuse, switch it and write down, I am going to talk to 5 new women today, because guess what? That starts to make you an extrovert, and it switches. Instead of like limiting what you can do because you're an introvert, you're going to switch that mindset, and you're going to read it every single day and start to believe that you are the person that goes out and talks to people, and you are the person that says hi to a stranger in public. And it literally changes your mindset. Like there's something about writing it every single day over and over that really just like starts to stick in your head. And you can, any negative thing, like whatever it is, if you find yourself looking in a mirror and you're judging yourself about something, go and write it. When I first had this, my baby 8 months ago, one of the things I was writing is like, I am thankful for God letting me carry this baby and for my body changing, because obviously if any of you guys have kids, your body changes. And you go through all those emotions after. So I had to remind myself every single day is like, I'm blessed that I was able to carry a baby. And I don't want to hate my body right now. So I needed to tell myself that every single day and write it and read it and see it for it to stick in my head. And you can do that with any negative thing you are having. If you're trying to become an elite coach, or you're trying to become a diamond coach or a 5-star coach, write it in your I am statements every day. I am a diamond coach. I am an elite coach in 2020. And just get serious about continuously doing that every single day. If you do it one day and then you skip it for a week, you're not going to be successful. It's the same with your business. If you show up one day and then you don't for an entire week, your business is not going to move forward. And know that people are going to watch you and they're never going to comment on your stuff. They're never going to like your stuff. They're never going to say anything. And the reason that I say that is, you've probably heard that from so many people. But when I first started the business, I went to a bar one night with one of my friends. We were like grabbing dinner. And I had numerous people come up to me and tell me like, you are so inspirational. And it was so awkward and uncomfortable, because I was like, okay, I haven't really been out in public since I like for that first few months, because I was really working the business a lot. And so when I went out and people were actually like telling me in person that I was inspirational, like I felt weird about it. And just because I was so insecure, but I felt weird But it also made me realize, like, okay, so all these people see my posts every day and they've never liked them. They've never commented. You would never know that they saw them, but they're sitting here and like, they would literally say, there was two girls that told me like, I love reading your quotes in the morning because it always gets my mindset like ready for the day. And I'm like, that's funny. Then like that post because you never like it. But it's just people don't. They're going to watch you for a while and they're going to see what you're doing and they're never going to say anything. And they might not ever say anything. Like they might watch you for your entire coaching career and they never join you, but you're adding inspiration to their life. You're adding motivation. I have people that don't end up joining my challenge group, but maybe they start going to a gym or they start taking a class. You're still making a difference in someone's life. And as a coach, yes, we want people to sign up with us. We want them to join our groups and be drinking shakes every day. Like I strongly, strongly believe everyone in the world should be drinking that shake. But you're going to have people that do something different. But if they're getting healthy, support them and love on them. And when it comes to, I get this question a lot because for a little while I was bringing on a lot of people that went to the gym. And I don't know if any of you guys go to a gym or not. But one of the things that I always try to remind people is like, if you're doing at-home workout programs, you can talk to someone that's at a gym because they can benefit from like the shakes and from the meal plans and all of that stuff. And they can also do the programs at the gym. So don't think that like, oh, well, that person's into this, I can't talk to them, because that doesn't mean you can't talk to them. A lot of times people that are going to gyms don't have a community, don't have accountability, don't have any sort of meal plan. They're just going there. And a lot of times they're walking around not knowing what they're doing. And so they can benefit from this as well. Like don't count people out because you're deciding if this could be good for them or not good for them. Same with coaching. When you're inviting to coaching, it can change someone's life and help them with their anxiety or their depression or their financial situation or their relationship or their friendships. Like there's so many things that it can change their life. So don't count people out and say, oh, well, I'm not going to invite her because she's already in shape, or I'm not going to invite her because she looks like she has her life together. Because as you all know, the people that have their lives together typically are the ones that like don't really have their lives together. They just aren't sharing it yet. So know that anyone can benefit from this. But if you hold back on inviting and you're scared to invite, your business isn't going to grow. Like it's that simple. But also you're not going to make a difference in the world. Like we have something that's amazing. And I was the gym goer who used to go that would literally walk around and only do cardio because I didn't know anything about weights and I didn't want to look stupid. And so I did cardio stuff, and yet I would look at body images of like the girls that I wanted to look like, and they were lifting weights. They weren't doing what I was doing. So you have to like know that there's other people that are doing that too. And this solution, like having all these trainers and having the meal plans that go with it and the cooking show, like if you guys don't use the cooking show, start using it, because that is like the easiest way for people who aren't good cooks like me to learn. I mean, they're literally telling you, cut your peppers like this, cut this like this, do this for 3 minutes. Like it walks you through. It's like cooking for dummies. And I needed that. And so many other people need simple things like that you can follow along with. And that's what we have. And then knowing what's in the shake. Don't just try to be like, hey, join my group. You're going to get this shake and you get a workout. Like figure out what you're talking to people about and what it's doing for you. That 3-step approach, know your Shakeology, like know what it's doing for you. For the longest time, I would be so jealous because girls would post that like it was helping their hair. And I had like, you guys, the grossest haircut ever. It was like cut like this because in South Carolina, my husband's laughing because it's legit true. I had a bob, moved to South Carolina, and they cut my hair straight across, like to my lips, and I couldn't pull it back, and you couldn't do anything to it. It was the ugliest thing ever. And I still had to, like, I wish I could show people a picture. It was so bad. But I watch all these girls, and they'd be like, oh, my hair is growing from Shakeology. And I would be like, okay, no, it's not, because I drink it every day, and my hair is not growing. But I can finally, I literally just put a post up about this. I can finally say, like, my hair, it's greasy right now, gross, but it's actually healthy and growing. And it's long, but it's because now I've been drinking my shakes for 4 years and I switched how I was eating. So you have to know what it's doing for you, because at that time I couldn't share about my hair, but I could share that it was helping my nails. I could share that it was helping my digestive system. I could share that it was helping with my sweet tooth craving, and know what it's going to do for people. And then last, when you're talking to someone, find out what their goals are. So ask them about it. It's kind of funny, but I invite this girl to coaching. Like, honestly, when I tell you I'm not scared to invite, I really am not. So I invite this girl like 4 times and she would ignore my messages. And if someone ignores me, like, I'll actually call them out on it and be like, hey, you know, I know that you usually ignore my message, but, and I just like try to break the awkwardness. And so I'm going to read you what happened today, because it's actually kind of, so I wrote, hey girl, and I had invited her 4 times probably in the last like 3 months, because I'll usually go back and follow up like once a month. And she would ignore my coaching invite, but she would always comment on anything else I said. So we'd talk about our kids, we'd talk about all different things, and she would have conversations with me. The second I said something about coaching, quiet. And that was the end of the conversation. So I wrote, hey girl, I know you typically ignore my messages when I invite you to the coaching opportunity, but I can't help but want this to change everyone's life. Coaching might not be for you right now, but have you ever considered being a part of my challenge group? Are you working towards any goals physically or mentally, or maybe just needing the community? Would love to help support you if you are. And literally she messaged me back and said, hey, I'm not into coaching at all, but might be interested in the new 20-minute workout program with the step. I've seen many people post about that, and that might be suitable for me in my life right now. I used to be a member of Orange Theory Fitness, but can't in my stage of life with my little one. Could you give me more information about the new 20-minute workout? Sorry I didn't respond to coaching. I didn't know how to respond to it, but I'm excited to be in a challenge group. Thank you. So I was inviting her to something that, like, to her, she didn't know what to say back to me. Like, she's like, legit, can this girl stop inviting me? But then when I realized, like, okay, she's ignored it 3 times. So that's usually when I switch, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe you can benefit just from being in my challenge group. And had I not done that and sent her another coaching invite, she would have ignored me again. So you have to be aware that, like, you keep inviting them, you follow up with them, and you also start to know, like, what do they need? That's why when I put it out there, like, are you trying to reach goals physically or mentally, or do you maybe need a community? Because I want them to know, like, there's different things that happen with a challenge group, and if that's what they need, I want to help them. And I don't, like, I'm not scared. Honestly, the easiest way to, like, break the ice on an awkward conversation is, if they're ignoring you, is to say, like, hey, just, know that you ignore me, or hey, saw you read my message, but wanted to make sure you actually got it. Like, I say that all the time, like, hey, I can see that you saw my message, but just wanted to make sure you got it, because I know sometimes, like, my kids play with my phone. And it's so weird, but then people respond, because then they're like, oh crap, like, she's calling me out on it. And people will respond to that and be like, hey, sorry, I'm not interested right now, or hey, yeah, I would love more information, I just don't know much about it. But just be real and be honest. I, like, love doing that, though, because I think it just, like, moves the conversation along so much easier.
That's
Do you guys have a question?
Yeah, that's the best. I need to say that more. If you have any questions, it's late where she is. It's 10 o'clock. So if you guys have any questions, you can unmute yourself or type in the chat really quick. That was so awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, and you guys, something I do in the morning and in the evening for 15 to 20 minutes, I always just go to my stories and I scroll through my stories and then just love on people for 15 to 20 minutes. And I don't write their names down. I don't track it, but obviously if you send a message on someone's story, it's going to go in your inbox. So I just go through and I love on different people. And something that I try to do is, like, I first take my finger and scroll really, like, as far as I can a few times, so that it's people I'm not seeing all day long. Because all the people that you're interacting with are going to be all the stories that are first. So make sure you, like, scroll across and then you start right there. And I'll just comment and love on, like, people's stuff in their stories. Like, oh, that looks good. Oh, that's cool. And, like, super easy, simple, love on people, and then go to bed. And then I do that the next morning. But that always means, like, I'm starting new conversations with people.
Yeah.
and letting them see like my stuff as well.
And that's like not inviting. That's literally just showing love on people. And if you're not doing that, then you need to be. And like you said, 15 minutes, a half hour a day is like not that hard. We can all spend a half hour doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so. You should message me the message you sent her about like, would you like to work on the one you just read us, and I'll send it to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't send it on here, but
yeah,
I can
just send it to me and I'll send it to them. Yeah, I'll send it to you guys. Okay, so seriously, thank you so much. That was super awesome. And I learned stuff about you I didn't know, so I love that. I didn't know if your hair was short. So
oh my gosh, it was so ugly. Yo, you knew me when it was short.
I know, but I didn't know that it was ugly. I didn't notice.
No, it was like legit the worst haircut. I mean, even my husband, it was like a bowl cut. Like my husband's like, yeah, for real. It was so ugly. And I live in South Carolina, so my hair would frizz up and I couldn't pull it up. Like it was like as bad as it's horrible.
It's so funny. Seriously, so funny. Yeah.
And you guys also make sure you get to like events anytime you can, obviously, but fully like embrace everything that comes with the opportunity. I was always hitting Success Club because also like if you're someone that wants to be recognized and you don't feel good about like maybe you were at jobs that you weren't, this job gives you recognition and you're able to hit Success Club those first 3 months and get your free ticket. And then you can become a Success Club all-star and then a legend and become a premier coach and an elite coach. You can get your trip paid for just by helping people. And I have like fully embraced all of those things and been like, okay, I want this because I never felt proud of myself. So I use all of those things to our advantage because they have them there. So why not get free trips and free gifts and free, recognition that's going to make you feel good? Like the company is truly amazing and you have to fully believe that so you can share that on your social media and get to all of the trips and the things that are going to make you even more excited for it.
Yeah. For sure. Ricky, I think it totally just depends on the person with what their health reason is.
Yeah, it would depend on.
Because if they're like under doctor supervision, like it's hard to combat that when they're like, oh, well, my doctor says I can't. You know what I mean? So it's hard. If it's a physical, like there's something physical is holding them back, but they can still eat healthy, get them on 2B mindset, get them with Shakeology. Honestly, that would be super beneficial. Oh, Crohn's and fibromyalgia. Shakeology would absolutely help that.
Yeah, and actually there's like a YouTube videos that if I don't know something, if someone says a disease or like an injury or something, I don't know it, I always go look up what they have and then try to figure it out. And then I'll go on YouTube and try to see if there's like success stories, like if shakes help with that or if something specific that we have is able to help with it. So that way when I talk to the person, I'll actually know the answer to it.
Sound intelligent when you're talking. Yeah. So that's good. Okay. Well, we'll let you guys go. Seriously, so awesome. Thanks, Jessie. I love when.
Thank you guys.
So have a good night. Thanks, guys.